My name is Mad Skills, and you are now tuned into the Spark Something podcast. And right here, I want you guys to be the best version of yourself. I want you to live out the life that God is calling you to live out, because there'll never be another you. And no one else can do it the way that you can do it. Not with the flavor God has given you. So with that being said, welcome to the show. Let's go. Yo guys, what's going on? It's your girl Mad Skills. Welcome to another episode of the Spark Something podcast. I want to say thank you guys for coming back. Thank you guys for lending me your ears one more again. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get into this episode because I got something I want to talk to y'all about. Let's go. So, full disclaimer, before we go into this episode, I wanted to say I know that this was the episode that I was supposed to be doing with my sis, Wendy. I know I was supposed to introduce Wendy to the crew, to the crowd, to the people, to whoever is listening. I do apologize. We did not get an opportunity to be able to record. But what I will say is I thank God for being able to go and visit. So I was in South Carolina for about maybe four and a half days, I think. I got there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, about 4.5 days almost. And it was a blessing to be able to spend time in South Carolina. Before I went, though, what this episode is going to be about, before I got an opportunity to go, I was out and about during this crazy storm. So if any of you guys actually heard about the flooding that happened in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, in Lauderhill area specifically, I was actually in that area. And I did actually, get some flooding. My car, I had water in my car. It was a week. You hear me? That was a week. That was a crazy week. But God is amazing. And He is a blessing. And I appreciate my husband for coming through with the 1-2 and getting your girl's car together. Thank you so much, sweetheart. So the day that it was raining, I was out and about, had no idea that there was a there was a warning of thunderstorms and all of this storming and everything. I was just out because I was like, this is the only day that I'm gonna have off before I actually go to South Carolina. And I don't really watch or check the weather that often, which I probably should start looking at the weather. But I was like, I'm gonna be all right. So I was just out. I'm like, it's Florida. The weather's always wishy-washy. So I was out and about. That's crazy, right? But God was protecting you, girl, because ain't nothing happened to me while I was out. I was Gucci, you feel me? But I was out. I went to Five and Below. I was in Five and Below because Five and Below has a lot of inexpensive, great products that are there that I've been wanting to try and check out. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Five and Below is no longer Five and Below. Y'all gotta change the name to Five and Beyond, Five and Above, Five and much more than $5, because it's no longer Five and Below. I got a microphone, y'all. So I was planning on doing an episode with my sis Wendy, and I mentioned it in last week's episode. But I was planning on doing an episode with her, and I ended up buying a microphone from Five and Below. Five and Below has some microphones in there. They got a couple things that's good for using for like podcasts if you're just now setting up, even if you're doing like gaming and stuff like that. They have like green screens, they have some lighting, and it's all pretty inexpensive. You'll probably have to buy more than just one because it is probably like a small portion. But while I went in there, I just went in there to look around, and I ended up finding this microphone. And depending on the quality of this episode, we may release this week, depending on the quality. If it is trash, I'm going to go ahead and use my other microphone that I've been using to record every single episode. And we'll probably just have to say, you know what, that Five and Below episode is out the window. Five and Below, Five and above, Five and Beyond, Five, and this is more than $5. That's what I'm gonna name the place, because it's no longer Five and Below. But I went in there and I saw this microphone that I am using right now to record this episode, and I'm hoping that the quality is A1, A2, A3. Anything above A5 is fine. Anything below that is probably going to be trash. I have no idea why I said A5, but A1. But you probably can hear everything that is going on around me, but it's cool. It's cool. I just wanted to record on this microphone because I wanted to actually do something a little different and be free. God has given me this podcast right here, this platform, I guess, and I want to be able to be free to do whatever it is that he is calling me to do, and I want to do it without any hindrance. I want to do it in spirit and in truth. So I actually bought this microphone, like I said, to record an episode with my sis, but I ended up not being able to record it. So I decided to just do an episode about how I bought this microphone from Five and Below to encourage you guys to start wherever you are, and to encourage you guys and let you know that you don't have to go out and buy the most expensive equipment if you want to start a podcast, or you don't have to go out and buy the most expensive anything if you want to start whatever God is calling you to start, whether it be being a creative or starting a business, building a business. You don't have to go out and buy the most expensive thing. A lot of the things that you guys can actually find is either free or it doesn't cost a whole lot. Now, I will say that there's a difference in quality with certain things. Certain things you will have to actually pay for, but you don't have to rush to do it as soon as you start. Because I don't know about anybody else, I'm not balling like that to where I can sit here and drop a ban on some equipment right now. I still got responsibilities to take care of. And yes, I said responsibilities. Anthony is still telling me that that is not a word, but I will use it because I like it. And we're going to keep it at that. But there's still things that I have to take care of. This microphone that I bought from Five and Below, Five and Above, Five and Beyond, Five and nothing in there is $5 anymore. If it is, it's probably really tiny. But this microphone that I bought from there was actually $10. So, and then there's some other stuff that they have in there. But with this $10 microphone that I bought from Five and Below, I actually, I was gonna just use it just to have a second microphone. I'm like, let me just test it out to see what it sounds like, and I could just use it to have a second mic. Now I have a second microphone, but I believe that one is not a USB microphone. I believe that second microphone is actually a microphone that I need a mixer for. Big shout out to my sis Lene for actually giving me a mixer. For the free. Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you, girl. Appreciate you more than you know. I gotta figure out how to work it though. When I figure out how to work it, we upgrade to something a little different. You feel me? You feel me? I'm excited. I'm excited for the transition. I'm excited for the upgrade. I'm excited for what God is doing in my life, and I get the opportunity to share it with you guys that are listening. Greatly appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. But back to this microphone that I got from Five and Below, Five and Beyond, Five and Above, Five and nothing in there costs $5 unless it's small. But this microphone right here, I thought about I can't remember the name of the commercial, like the name of the school, but I remember when I was growing up, there was a guy that used to come on TV and there was a commercial about going to school, and he was like, yo, you sitting at home, you sitting on the couch, watching TV, your life's passing you by. You might as well go ahead and go to college. I forgot the name of the school. And then you had like stuff like ICDC college. But anyways, um, then you had Education Connection. Right now I'm telling my age. But anyways, that guy reminded me of, you know what? It made me want to actually get up and do something with my life, with myself, even at that age. And then I remember being on YouTube one day, and I probably told this story maybe a couple episodes back. If I didn't, this will be something brand spanking new. But there's a guy on there, I believe his name is Joseph Solomon. He goes by Joseph Solomon or Joe Solomon or something like that on YouTube. And this was a few years back. And he did a video talking about people who had microphones, like, yo, or people who were creatives or something like that. And he's like, yo, you got that microphone. You done had that microphone for a minute now. You're not going to use it. You might as well get rid of it. And that really like, and the microphone that I normally use for all of my episodes, I had that microphone for a minute before I started actually recording, because I was like, I know I want to do radio, but I don't know exactly what I want to do with this microphone. But I had it for some years before I actually started saying, yo guys, what's going on? It's your girl Mad Skills. Welcome to the Spark Something podcast. You feel me? I had it for a minute, but I knew God was, directing me in that way for me to go ahead and get one. But I heard that, and even after I heard it, like it did something to me, like it really convicted me, but it didn't convict me enough to actually get up and start recording, because fear had a hold of your girl. You feel me? Had me in a chokehold for a long time. Long time. Fear was like, me love you long time. And I was scared, Joe. I was scared to really get on here and show my personality. I was scared to get up on here and actually be transparent. I wasn't sure who was going to listen. And then I was afraid that, what if people actually do listen? What if they actually hear me? What if I stumble over my words? What if I don't really know what to say? What if I get confused? What if they actually see that I'm an amateur? And what if I don't encourage anybody? And so many things came up, and fear had a hold of me, and I never started. I never got started, and I had a microphone. So it made me think about that commercial, and then it made me think about that YouTube channel. And I was like, yo, I just bought a new microphone, even though I got it from Five and Below, Five and Beyond, Five and Above, five, and nothing in there costs $5 except for something small. Even though I got it from there and this thing was only $10, I was like, yo, I'm gonna use it. If I don't use it with the episode that I'm gonna do with my sis, I'm going to create an episode basically talking about how I got this microphone for the low, for the cheap, and depending on the quality, it's going out. So I just wanted to encourage somebody and say, yo, just start where you at. Start where you are. Get started. I remember doing this, and I had a friend of mine that was really trying to be encouraging to me, and she spoke to me. And I probably said this in a couple episodes before, because I'm not going to front with y'all. I record a lot of episodes that don't go out because I'm still stumbling over my words, or because I don't feel secure about the episode. I recorded an episode about this microphone in South Carolina. Like, it was like my last day in South Carolina on Friday. And I recorded an episode talking about how I bought this. But I was like, let me re record it, and let's put whichever one out that sounds the best. I'm going to put that out. Whichever one where I sound a little bit more confident, I'm going to put that out. And this might be the one. I don't know. But my friend, who I value dearly. I value their words of wisdom and encouragement dearly. I value what they say. I value them as a person, because I trust them and I trust their judgment. You feel me? So she was like, "Yo, sis, we need to see your face. Like, we need to see more of you." And part of me was a little discouraged, because I wasn't confident in that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was. I wasn't sure that I could actually be that person. And then I cowered it out. I backed away the same way I felt with the whole, what you doing with your life? You sitting on the couch watching TV, not doing nothing. And even with the whole, yo, you got this microphone, you might as well get rid of it because you're not going to use it. And even with my friend, who I value their opinion and I see where she was coming from, and it was out of love, it wasn't out of hatred or disrespect or anything like that, but she was right. I didn't believe in myself enough to just hit record. I didn't believe in myself enough to walk into what God is calling me to do. And I was sitting there waiting to convince other people that I was good enough to do what God was calling me to do, even though I wasn't even doing it. And I'm like, yo, that's wow. That's crazy for me to think that I I can convince, why am I trying to convince anybody? That I can convince them that I'm good enough when God has already called me to do this. I don't need to convince them. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation. And speaking of validation, let me just go into this a little bit. So I haven't really been on social media like I normally am, but I've been hearing about this whole blue check, like these verification checks. Like, excuse me, I was literally about to really get grimy and gutter And y'all really, my boy, y'all really out here paying for these blue checks? And then y'all paying for the blue checks, and we look at your reels, or we checking out your page, and you only got like 4 likes, and you got a comment, and that's a spam comment saying, "Yo, if you want, if you want more acknowledgement, post it on this page." Like it's legit spam. And they done commented once, but they done commented once on a couple other photos. And it's like, bro, is it that deep? Then we buying likes, buying views on YouTube. I'm like, yo, that's wow, bro. Y'all really out here, whole imposter syndrome. That's not really you, but you living up to a standard that you haven't even built. And the crazy part about it is you will literally pay for something and it will build because you paid money for it, but it'll be something that you can't keep up with, something that you can't withstand because that's not really you. You didn't really come up like that. You didn't really grow with this acknowledgement. You paid for it. It came instantly or faster than it would have if you would have grew it from the ground up. You got it in a way that was like, all right, I'm gonna pay for it. If I pay for it, it's gonna come quicker, it'll come easier. I won't have to put too much work in. So you couldn't even, because you didn't put any of the work in, or you haven't put that much work in, you're not even the person you need to be to sustain that. Boy, I'm talking good on this $10 microphone that I got from Five and Below, Five and Beyond, Five and Above. Five and nothing costs $5 if it ain't something small. Like, yo, you have literally paid for the approval, paid for the blue check, and you are literally not ready. You have not become the person that you need to be to sustain that lifestyle. But it is what it is. Who do I know? I'm just doing an audio podcast. I don't know too much about nothing. But I'm gonna be real with you. I see myself differently. In order for you to actually become that person, you actually have to envision yourself becoming that person. In order for you to actually walk into that next level, you have to already have been there in your mind first. You have to know and trust that wherever God is taking you, He will also sustain you on that level. Because if you're trying to get there on your own, if you're trying to pay for it to get there, I guarantee you're going to pay in the end. Because you're not going to be able to to sustain that level. Excuse me, I got a little tongue tied. That's going in there too. I'm not editing that out because I'm human. And I'm gonna be real with you. Lately, I realized that I gotta stop playing with me. I gotta stop playing with myself. Honestly, maybe that probably didn't come out the best way. Okay. I have to stop playing about myself. How about that? I'm gonna say it like say it like that. Yo, I gotta stop playing about myself. Facts, yo, mad facts, bro. I gotta stop playing about myself. And you gotta stop playing about yourself too. And don't let nobody play with you. Stop letting people play with you, bro. You bigger than that. If you were called for this, trust me, you bigger than that. If we sitting here, we waiting for people to acknowledge us and people to recognize us and people to approve us when God has already called us, what we doing? We going backwards. God's like, yo, I have already given you what you need to become successful. I have already poured everything into you. Like my God sister Kay says, you are lacking nothing. You got everything you need. When God created you, it was done. It was done when He created you. He put everything in you that you're going to need to sustain this. Now, yeah, you might have to learn some stuff along the way, of course. But everything you need is in the earth already. And whatever it is that God is pouring in, like, trust me, your whole entire life is mapped out. And there are things that God is gonna pour inside of you. But there's a time in your life, on your timeline of life. There's a moment in your life where you will receive what you need to receive at that age. You will receive what you need to receive at that point in your life. You will receive whatever it is you need to receive at that moment to get to the next moment. So don't rush the process, bro. Trust it. On this $10 microphone, you better step. Sis, come on, baby. You better step on this $10 microphone from 5 and below, 5 and above, 5 and beyond, 5 and nothing in there costs $5 unless it's probably something small. You better step. I got you. I got you, sis. I'm gonna take care of that. Listen, you have everything you need. God is in every single area and every single stage in our life. He will meet us at every single mark. Don't matter where it is or what it is, God will meet us there. He will come down and meet you there. He is omnipresent, He's everywhere. There is nowhere you can go where it's too high or too low that God cannot reach you. He has already given you everything you need. And the crazy part about it is, a lot of us will take everything we need, and then when we get to a certain point, you ungrateful little minion, you get to a certain point and forgot who God was when you got there. How dare you, dog? How dare we, bro? You tripping at that twice. You know when you say it twice, it means something. When you say it twice, it means something. But you tripping, fam. You better, sis, you better step on this $10 microphone from 5 and below. I'm just talking what I'm talking. I'm just speaking whatever God is calling me to speak. Listen, wherever you at, start there. Like so I'm just a question, because I had to think about this. Every year, you're going to get discouraged. Every year. Every month, you're going to be discouraged. Every month. Every day. Every semester. If for all of my college students, every semester. For all of my high school students, like every semester. For all of my athletes, every season. You're going to get discouraged every season. Every day of your life. Like, you're going to live to see 75. And for anybody that's listening to this and you 75, you look great. Great. But you're 75. And for 75 years, I don't know how many days or how many hours that is. I'm not going to sit here and do the math. I don't have a calculator. You do it. You do it and put it in the comments. But anyways, you're going to live to see a ripe old age, and you're going to tell me every single day of your life, you're not going to do nothing to believe God? You're not going to step out on faith at all, my G? You're not going to trust God with nothing? With none of the gifts He gave you? You don't believe that God is giving you the power to get wealth for your own self? My guy? My sis? You're not going to have faith? When I tell you I went to South Carolina and I rest and I relax and I appreciate my sis and I appreciate my bro, I appreciate the kids, I appreciate getting the opportunity to get away from everything. But when I got back, babe, when I tell you I'm on fire, all I needed was a couple days. Now I'm looking at everything differently. Why? Because God showed me who I was while I was there. My husband called me Actually, no, we were texting. It's the last thing I'm going to say before I go. So we were texting, and he asked me how my day was. I told him, I said, it's going on good. How was yours? He was like, it's all right. I'm ready to go home. He was at work. Now, baby boy had a couple more hours. Not even a couple. He had just got there 2 hours before he texted me that. He got the rest of the day. I said, ooh, love, you're going to be there for a while. But I understand how you feel. And I'm also in a group chat with some friends of mine who we used to work together. Now none of us work together at all, but we still meet up from time to time. Big shout out to the crew. How y'all doing? I love y'all. Yeah, I meant that from the bottom of my heart. But I know a lot of them are either looking for a job for one, or two, they are trying to figure out what's next. So am I. And I had to think, I'm like, God, I know you've given me the power to get wealth. I don't just want wealth, I want freedom. I don't just want money. I want to be able to live a life to where I don't feel like I'm in bondage or burdened down with other people's responsibilities. I want to be able to travel a lot more. I want to be able to bless the kingdom also. I want to be able to pour into people. And God has given me the power to do that. I am lacking nothing. Baby steps, we're going to figure out how to do it. But we lacking absolutely nothing. So I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Spark Something podcast. Say I love y'all so much. And I hope this encouraged somebody. So this has been your girl Mad Skills. This is another episode of the Spark Something podcast. And I hope this sparks something in your life. And I'm out. Peace, baby.